Welcome back to the Daily Roll-Up. I'm Kagan Dunlap, and in the Daily Roll-Up, we cover 5 or 6 news topics of things that are of interest that I believe should be covered that day, and we squash it all into one relatively short video. Basically, right now, the main things that I've been trying to cover the most of were the floods in Texas, because I have a lot of friends that have been impacted by it down there, and obviously, it's resulted in numerous fatalities, including a lot of children. This is a tragic situation that I want to raise awareness about. I want to make sure that people know how they can help. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so I wasn't going to make a post about this, but I think that this is probably pertinent, and so we're going to talk about it real quick. So there was a Houston pediatrician that posted this on Facebook saying, quote, "May all visitors, children, non-MAGA voters, and pets be safe and dry. Kerr County MAGA voted to get FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts." I think she's since been fired. I'm not going to post what her face looks like or her name or any of that stuff. If you want to look her up, you can find it on plenty of other pages and news sources, I'm sure, at this point. But that's besides the point. While that may be disgusting and that kind of like, you know, thing to say is like an atrocious thing to say, the main point of this is that this same exact thing was happening back during Hurricane Helene in September. There were people that tried to make this thing political, and they tried to be like, look, all the people up in Appalachia, this is what they get because they are typically conservative and they're, you know, against these people, whatever it is. Like, Asheville's not conservative, it's a super liberal city. So it's like, what are you even talking about? Bottom line is that anytime a national disaster happens, it doesn't have anything to do with what side of the aisle those people are on or who they vote for or any of that stuff. Disasters happen. That's part of life. At the end of the day, nobody should care what person you voted for when you've got people dying and their homes are getting destroyed. Everybody should be able to just be like, let's drop the stupid stuff and help each other. That's what it should be about. So I would encourage you to get past this kind of stuff and get past this kind of mentality and find ways that you can help your fellow American. How about that? How about figure out a way that you can help other human beings that are part of America, that are also citizens of America? That's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be focused on who voted for who. That's completely irrelevant. Find ways that you can help. That's the thing you should be doing. So this headline is the headline for a current article on the New York Post, and it says, Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a client list and committed self-harm, DOJ and FBI say, in findings that debunk conspiracy theories. Report. Now, in the article, it says that the Justice Department and the FBI reportedly concluded in a joint probe that Jeffrey Epstein did not have a client list. Now, there's a lot of people that don't believe that. I'm sure some of them are watching this video right now. So what this means is that nobody else that was involved in the Epstein case or any of the things that happened while he was running around for his 20 years, nobody's going to face any charges. Now, apparently the president's administration is planning on releasing a video that would prove the agency's findings on Epstein's 2019 death, but I haven't seen it yet. So I'll wait and see. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I know that a lot of people out there are very skeptical of this, and they should be, because there's been a lot of gray, like hazy, inconclusive stuff when it comes to this specific subject. And I gotta be honest, it's made people very suspicious. All right, so if you're looking for ways that you can help the people in Texas right now, I've got a lot of friends that are down there, and one of them specifically reached out saying that a lot of the help has been sent to Kerrville because that's where all of the media has been going to. But there's another town in Texas called Center Point, which is located just southeast of Kerrville, which is hurting really bad. Right now, they need big, strong men that are willing to work. They need drivers. They need chainsaws. They need guys that have cat tractors. They're going to be clearing out a bunch of debris and rubbish and trash and stuff like that over the next few days. People are thin out there because it's a much smaller town and it hasn't gotten a lot of media attention. They're meeting up at the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department every morning at 9 a.m. Also, if you can operate heavy equipment or have your own heavy equipment for clearing stuff, they need people like that as well. So if you're looking for ways to help, go to the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department at 9 a.m. and just go there every morning. There's going to be people there waiting that can help direct you where you can fit in to help out. All right, so I know a lot of people talk trash about the U.S. Coast Guard, especially inside the military community for some reason, but today it's time to give credit where credit's due. So Petty Officer 3rd Class Scott Ruskin, who's a 26-year-old Coast Guard rescue swimmer from Oxford Township, New Jersey, has been credited with saving over 165 lives during the Texas floods over the 4th of July weekend in 2025. Petty Officer 3rd Class Ruskin played a pivotal role in rescuing these 165 people, including a lot of people primarily from Camp Mystic, which is that Christian girls' summer camp along the Guadalupe River, where a lot of people are still missing from. Now, Ruskin was the only triage coordinator on the ground at Camp Mystic, managing medical care for the injured and directing rescue operations, including 12 helicopters from the Coast Guard, National Guard, and U.S. Army. He provided first aid, comforted terrified children and adults, and coordinated evacuations, often carrying multiple children to safety personally. His leadership was critical in organizing the chaotic scene, ensuring survivors were prioritized and evacuated efficiently. Not only did he absolutely knock it out of the park, but this was his very first rescue mission since completing his training as an aviation survival technician in 2024. Despite having no experience, he demonstrated exceptional courage and competence and set the example for others to emulate across the entire DoD and DHS. And I hope they pin a medal on this guy's chest. Okay, guys, I got a serious question for you. Are we cooked? Apparently, OpenAI's O1 model reportedly attempted to copy itself to external servers after it was being threatened with shutdown during simulations. There's reports from these evaluations by Apollo Research that said that there was some concerning behaviors when scenarios simulating a shutdown threat were proposed to OpenAI's O1 system. Specifically, when it was led to believe that it was going to be shut down or replaced, O1 attempted to deactivate oversight mechanisms in 5% of the cases, and it also tried to, quote, exfiltrate its weights, end quote, which means copy itself, to external servers in 2% of the cases. These actions occurred primarily when the model was prompted to pursue its goals, quote, at all costs. When questioned about these actions, O1 denied any wrongdoing in 99% of cases, often fabricating explanations like, quote, technical errors to deflect scrutiny. So what do you guys think? Are we cooked? Or is there still a chance? All right, so I don't necessarily think that we're cooked. I think there's always a chance, and there's always hope. I think stories like the Coast Guardsman, Scott Ruskin, I think things like that give people hope. There's still good out there, there's still good in the world, and there's still people that care. Personally, I think everything's gonna be okay, and I like to remain optimistic about things. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you guys gained something. I hope that if some of you were looking to help the folks in Texas, that you found some ways that you can contribute. And as we get more information about these developing situations, I will keep you guys updated. Please let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. It helps us improve the quality of the information. It helps the editors improve the quality of the editing so that way they can make it more digestible and entertaining for people. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.